mean, it's so disappointing, isn't it? You know what I do when I'm sitting in a darkened theater waiting for the show to begin? I pray. Oh, dear God, please let it be a good show. And let it be short. Oh, Lord in heaven, please. 2 hours is fine, 3 hours is too much. And keep the actors out of the audience. My God, I did not pay good money to have the fourth wall come crashing down around my ears. I just want a story. And a few good songs that'll take me away. I just want to be entertained. I mean, isn't that the point? Amen. You know, there was a time when people used to sit in those darkened theaters and think to themselves, what if George and Ira Gershwin got first tonight? Or can Cole Porter pull it off again? Can you imagine? Now it's, please, Sir Elton John, must we continue this charade? It used to be sitting there in the dark that when the show began, you would be taken to another world. A world full of color and music and glamour, and you thought to yourself, my God, when are they going to bring up the lights? Oh, how things have changed. Hello. How are we today? I'm feeling a little blue myself. You know, a little anxious for no particular reason. A little sad I should be feeling anxious at my age. You know, a little non-specific anxiety followed by non-specific sadness. A state that I call blue. Anyway, whenever I'm feeling this way, blue, I like to listen to my music. So I was going through my records this morning. Yes, records. And I was looking for my copy of Meredith Willson's The Music Man. I had a craving for a young Ronnie Howard. Then I thought, no, let's have a treat. Let's take ourselves back to the decadent world of the 1920s, when the champagne poured and the caviar chilled and all the world was a party. For the wealthy, anyway. So I dug about, and what did I find? One of my favorite shows, Gable and Stein's The Drowsy Chaperone. Remember? Music by Julie Gable and lyrics by Sidney Stein. It's a 2-disc recording of the original one made in 1928. It has the original cast, including Beatrice Stockwell as the chaperone. Here she is. Isn't she elegant? And this was 15 years before she became Dame Beatrice Stockwell. Can you imagine? Let me read you what it says on the back. It says, mix-ups, mayhem, and a gay wedding. Of course, the phrase gay wedding means something completely different nowadays. Back then, it just meant fun. And that's exactly what the show is. Fun. So would you indulge me? Would you let me play the record for you? I was hoping you'd say yes. You hear that static? I love that sound. It's like the sound of a time machine starting up. All right now, let's visualize. Imagine, if you will, it's November 1928. You've just pulled up to the Morosco Theater in New York. It's very cold. Remember it used to be cold in November? Not anymore. November's the new August. It's global warming, we're all doomed. Anyway, it's very cold, and a heavy gray sleet is falling from the sky. But you don't care, because you're going to see a Broadway show. Listen. Isn't this wonderful? It helps if you close your eyes. Overtures. Overtures are out of style now. I miss them. It's the show's way of welcoming you. Hello, welcome. The meal will be served shortly, but in the meantime, would you like an appetizer? And that's exactly what an overture is. A musical appetizer. A poo-poo platter of tunes, if you will. Oh. What's this? Something new. Kind of rollicking. It sounds like a dance tune. Maybe involving pirates. Don't worry, there are no pirates. Oh, I love this part. It's the one feeling starts to build, and you're only seconds away from being transported. The curtain's going up. I can't wait.
Yes, madam.
How do I look?
You look radiant, Mrs. Tottenham.
I do love this dress so. It never goes out of style.
It's a miracle, madam.
Ooh, when will the guests be arriving?
They'll be arriving shortly, madam.
Oh, I should go put on my fancy dress.
You're wearing it, madam.
Oh. My dress, my dress, my fancy dress. I don't know why I'm wearing it, I must confess. My dress, I love my dress. Would someone tell me why I put it on?
Yes. Your dress, fancy dress. Such a pleasure airing it, restitching and repairing. God bless your dress. It's one fine dress, and I will tell you why you put it on. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime. And you're those descendants, happy wedding time.
Wedding bells will ding, wedding bells will dong.
Wedding bells will ding-a-ling, and we will ding along.
Your dress, your fancy dress. We're very, very glad you put it on.
Wedding guests have come.
Wedding guests are here.
Wedding guests are at the door, and soon they will appear.
I'm Robert, the bridegroom. I'm here to marry Janet. That's daughter of that six volleys through my la.
I'm George, that's George, his best man George. I'm honored to be doing what a best man ought. Mrs. Tottenham, now don't you worry, I've got this whole wedding planned out. The key is organization, see? Each string represents a task yet to be completed. Pay the musicians, yell at the florist, book the minister. This whole wedding's gonna run like clockwork.
Ooh, is there going to be a wedding?
I lost my leading lady. I gotta stop this wedding or I'm not worth squat.
I'm kidding, just kidding. I came with Mr. Fancy. I'll be a leading lady if I get my shot.
We're pastry chefs. We cross the hop, we're pastry chefs. No fakery. A bakery is what we got.
I'm done for. Anything I'm done for. I am the king of romance, like he's a lord. You are the king of romance, so your king is a lord. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime. Wedding bells will celebrate a happy wedding time. Someone hasn't come, someone isn't here. When is Jenny back to grab and when will she appear? I'm from
I'm Janet, Janet Vanderbilt, here to marry Robert Martin, giving up a life of glamour to tie the knot.
My way
for debonair bridegroom, a harried producer, jovial gangsters posing as pastry chefs, a flaky Corrine, a Latin Lothario, and an aviatrix, who we now call a lesbian. And of course, my favorite character, the Drowsy Chaperone. What more do you need for an evening's entertainment? We will ding along. I don't even know what that means. All right, I'll lead you through this record as best I can. Don't worry, it won't be hard to follow. All the characters are two-dimensional and the plot is well-formed. So we begin with a welcome for the love-struck groom.
Well, I'd just like to thank you all for coming. I mean, who would have thought that I, Robert Martin, would be marrying a glamorous showgirl? And that glamorous showgirl would be willing to give up a successful career for me, Robert Martin. Now, if it weren't for Prohibition, I'd say let's raise a glass.
Here, here.
To Miss Janet Vandergraff, the most beautiful girl in the world.
Absolutely not.
Excuse me?
The bride mustn't see her groom on the day of the wedding. It's bad luck.
I hope you heard that, because that's the entire plot. Basically. Hang on for the ride.
Breakfast will be served in the Arabian room.
Say, isn't it a little early in the day to be drinking?
I don't understand the question.
Look, you keep Jenner away from Robert. You're the chaperone. That's your only job.
Aye, mon Capitan.
Oh, Robert, who's my little monkey?
I'm your little monkey.
So the bride and groom are whisked away. We pay our attention now to the B plot involving the producer.
Mrs. Bouncing?
Getting married and leaving show business?
Mrs. Bouncing?
Doesn't she know I got obligations?
Mrs. Bouncing! I can be your leading lady. You said it yourself. I'm useless in the chorus.
Kitty, for the last time, you ain't got what it takes.
But I've been taking lessons. Singing, acting, ballet.
Ballet?
Yeah, and I'm pretty good too. Last week I auditioned for Swanee Lake. Yeah.
A little annotation. Kitty and Feltig were a couple in real life, Jack and Sadie Adler. Now this is a familiar comic construct, a stupid woman and her long-suffering companion. But she only appears stupid. In the end, she does something that's quite clever, that makes everyone else think whether or not it's all just an act. The irony here is that Sadie Adler was actually quite stupid. Jack had to explain all the jokes to her, apparently. But she had a wonderful career on the stage. At the time, the theater was the only place where stupid people could earn a living. This was before television, of course.
Kitty, I don't have time for this.
A penny for Mr. Felting.
Not now.
Perhaps a nice profiterole.
Boys, I'm not hungry.
Then perhaps we could give you something else to chew on.
Yeah, something food.
What?
Destitution is to be expected. Although we stand here before you in the guise of innocent pastry chefs, we are also
And primarily...
employees of certain individuals.
A soy individual.
A certain individual.
Who happens to be the largest single investor in Felting's Follies. He has sent us here
As pastry chefs.
to express his concern about Miss Vandergraff's impending nuptials.
Specifically...
That if she gets married and leaves the show, then there ain't no show. Say, don't I know you?
No, you don't.
Have you ever spent any time in Toledo? Have you ever spent any time in Tacoma? No. But I got a cousin in Seattle.
Kitty! Boys, tell your boss this wedding is never gonna happen. You have my word.
We'll take your word, all right.
But to go back on that word would be a recipe for disaster. Now we hope we have made ourselves perfectly
eclair.
One can only hope.
You biscotti be kidding me.
A trifle much.
Don't talk with me.
All right, you can drop the pastry chef routine.
Alas, we ganache.
We're on the lamb.
Lamb's an entree, you macaroon!
The gangsters were played by interchangeable vaudeville duo, the Bright brothers, John and Peter Bright. They were born Abram and Mendel Maslaskowitz, and they were renamed on Ellis Island by a sarcastic immigration official. They were your early example of the typical Broadway gangster, full of wordplay and stylized movements, not very intimidating. Unless you find dancers intimidating, which I do, but for reasons that would not be appropriate for the situation.
We'll leave the matter in your hands, Mr. Felsig. In the meantime, feel free to browse the dessert carousel.
Try to lead a surprise.
It's to die for.
Holy cats, Mr. Felsig. They're gangsters from Ohio.
Very perceptive. Now, go pat your face.
Okay.
I have to stop this wedding, but how? Oh, Lord in heaven, how? How?
I always thought that moment was a little overplayed. So, with the story on its way, let's go to the groom's room.
Hey there, handsome. Show me those pearly whites.
The groom was played by the dashing Percy Hyman. He started out as the Albright toothpaste man. His fabulous smile adorned every tube. Albright was hugely popular in the early 20s because it contained cocaine. It's true. If you looked at the label, it was the fifth ingredient down, right after sugar. Anyway, it wasn't long before he became a huge matinee idol.
Now, don't you worry. It's perfectly normal for a groom to get nervous on his wedding day. It is, of course.
Now, this number is almost universally cut from every single production of the Drowsy Chaperone since it opened in 1928. It is both politically incorrect and racist. But I'm going to play it for you anyway. Why, you may ask? Because I love Percy Hyman. Now, some people say he was a bad actor, but to those people I say, shut up.
Hey there, Mr. Mirror Man, a shaking and a quaking, trembling like the parade you get through. Something very bothering you. Cold feet, brother, you got cold feet. You can make them cold feet hot with a little rhythm. Younger feet, old feet can be uncontrolled feet. Really make them cold feet rot down the aisle. Frosty arches, they can learn to swing. Icy toast and jive. Wedding marches, bleeding ragtime swing, make rigid souls come alive and take that dive. Cold feet, strong feet, turn them into bold feet, rhythm make them cold feet. Hop.
Enough said. Well, why don't you just slide back into your butthole, you backstabbing worm? Well, looks like I'm gonna have to find another minister. Say, what are you up to?
I'm singing a song an old Negro taught me. A Dixie remedy for wedding day jitters.
You think you've got jitters? You've got the easy part. I've still got to get rice, boutonnieres, and a minister. shoulder. I've got the weight of the wedding on my shoulders.
George, it sounds like you've got cold feet.
What do I got?
Cold feet.
What do I want?
Bold feet.
What do I do? Scold feet?
No! You make the cold feet hot. Cold feet hot. You make the cold feet hot.
Make the cold feet hot.
Percy Hyman was a wonderful performer. I like to think of him panting and sweating after a long dance or two. He's still alive. I saw him on the news recently celebrating his 100th birthday. To say the years have not been kind to him would be a grotesque understatement. They wheeled him out and he had this pain-eyed expression of horrid confusion that God reserves for the elderly on their birthdays. You know the one I'm talking about, the one that says, "Who are you, who am I, and why is this cake on fire?"
All right, that's enough of that, dancing around like a fool.
Oh, I'm sorry, George. I was just trying to calm my nerves. It is my wedding day after all.
Well, you could have snapped an ankle. Tap dancing is too dangerous. Say, why don't you go out for a skate instead? That's what I do when I want to blow off some steam.
Oh, George, what would I do without you?
Wait. Oh, no. You're not going out like that, my friend. You might see Janet. Here, put on this blindfold.
Oh, George, you think of everything.
Just looking out for you, my boy. And no more tap dancing.
Right. The role of George is played by Rebecca Ravenel. She was known throughout the 1920s for playing what we call today trouser roles. Rebecca died in the 1940s, thrown from a horse riding side saddle. Interestingly, when the mortician was preparing the body for the funeral, he found that Rebecca was really a man all along. It's true, nobody knew, not even her husband. I'm not sure how that's possible, but so they say. Anyway.
Wedding bells will ring. Wedding bells will chime. Wedding bells will celebrate.
Just ignore it. It does this occasionally, it rings. Just ignore it. We'll stop soon.
What? What do you want? No, stop it! Stop it right now!
Hello. You have reached my answering machine. Leave a short message after the tone, and I'll call you back at my convenience.
Oh well. That's it then. The moment's ruined. Thank you, life! It's like a cell phone going off in a theater. God, I hate that. Hello, what are you doing tonight? Oh, nothing, just ruining the moment at the theater. How about you? I couldn't get out tonight. I thought I ruined the moment by proxy. Sorry. Let's just shake that off. Let's go back in our minds, 1928. They didn't have cell phones in 1928, but I'm sure they had something for the ruining of moments. Bugles or something.
Happy wedding time.
So the scene shifts. We find the bride, the glamorous Janet Van de Graaff, entertaining reporters as she lounges by the pool.
Miss Van de Graaff, is it true you're giving up a successful career to marry a man you hardly know?
Yes, Robert and I met on the Lido deck of the Ile de France. He amused me with stories of his father's oil interests. We spooned briefly, and then he proposed.
And how about that engagement ring? Wow, what a rock!
What, this? It doesn't shine nearly as brightly as my love for Robert.
Now that's something to read as a love.
So, you won't be returning to the stage ever?
I shan't.
You shan't! I shan't! Can I quote you on that?
Of course. One more question? Yes.
Why in the world would anyone put Olive in a Gibson?
I have a question. How can you give up the footlights when you know very well you got grease paints in your veins?
Mister, please.
Janet, I'm begging you, dump the mug, stay with the follies. I'll... Fine. I'll put your name above mine in the marquee.
Oh, Victor, if you think this is about vanity, you couldn't be more wrong. I don't want to show off no more. I don't want to sing tunes no more. I don't want to ride moons no more. I don't want to show off. I don't want to wear this no more. Play the saucy Christmas no more. Loan my signature no more. I don't want to show off.
Janet, please.
Don't try to control me. I've made up my mind. And that's it. I quit. I'm leaving it all behind. I don't want to be cute no more. Make the gentleman hoop no more.
Hey, baby!
I don't want to wear fruit no more. I don't want to show off. She don't want to show off no more. Not me. Page 3. No more. Auntie, I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off.
I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off no more. Off no more.
Not me. Whee!
How did she do it? We get it.
attention. I'm counting to 10, and I'm through. Farewell, adieu. You'll never see this. Farewell, you'll never see this. Never see this. Never see that. Never see these again. I don't wanna change keys no more. I don't wanna strip you. I don't wanna say cheese no more. I don't care if you scoff. I don't wanna be chewed no more, praised no more, grabbed no more, touched no more, loved no more. I don't wanna show off. She don't wanna show off. I don't wanna show off. I don't wanna show off. I don't wanna show no more.
Did I miss something?
Well, Mr. Feldzig, it is painfully obvious that Miss Vandegraff has no desire to continue a life on the stage.
Can't you see it's killing her soul?
Don't worry, boys. This isn't over yet.
Yeah! I'm surprised she didn't do an encore.
I don't wanna encore no more. You shall pour more no more. I disappear through the floor no more. I don't wanna show
That was Jane Roberts as the bride. She was the Oops girl. Remember? Oh, surely you remember the Oops girl. Don't you people read? She was the girl who was billed with such great sexual energy that the men around her had accidents. Spilled their drinks, crashed their cars into a tree, that sort of thing. And then she would go, oops. Well, I'm not really doing it justice, but people ate it up. She made a whole series of films. Oops, Oops Girl Come Home, and Oops Girl at Sea, which won an Oscar for special effects.
All right. Pegging and grappling didn't work. On to plan B. And for that, I'm gonna need an accomplice. Someone gullible with loose morals. I need a... What do you call him? A European. La 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 la.
In walks Adolfo, self-proclaimed king of romance. Adolfo was played by silent film star, world-class alcoholic, Roman Bartelli. He was the one who drank himself to death at a chateau in Nice, remember? It was 5 days before the police found him, and by that time, he had already been partially consumed by his poodles. Well, he was only partially consumed.
Excuse me, I don't believe we've met.
I am Adolfo.
You are Adolfo?
Yes, I am Adolfo.
Not Yeah, Aldolfo.
Yes, I am Aldolfo.
Funny, you don't look like a scoundrel.
Yes. What?
Why, just now, I overheard the groom saying that Aldolfo is a scoundrel. I just heard him say that.
What? Aldolfo is a scoundrel?
The very words.
Aldolfo is a scoundrel?
It's like I'm hearing it again.
This is outrageous! He's saying this to people? To beautiful ladies with breasts for making love? I
must take matters into your own hands!
Yes, I'm taking this broom into my hand to kill him!
Yes, no! Don't kill him! Just hurt him enough so he can't get married.
Very well. Take me to this groom. What? What kind of man is this groom? A big man?
What?
A burly fellow?
Well, he's big on the outside.
No. Aldolfo will not fight, big man. Small, pale, weasel little dwarf people that Aldolfo can punch far away. But no big man.
Ah, so you're a lover, not a fighter.
Yes, Aldolfo is a lover of beautiful women. Some say I'm the king of Mars.
Well, you know what they say? The best way to get back at a man is through his...
Door!
No. Best way to get back at a man is through his...
Window!
No. Revenge. Back at a man through his...
There are no other ways. I'm not Santa Claus coming down the chimney.
Through his woman.
Ah, through his woman.
His bride.
Yes, his bride.
Yes, Aldolfo. You must seduce his bride.
Very well. Aldolfo will make love to the bride. That will show people Aldolfo is no scoundrel. Take me to his bride. Wait.
What?
What kind of woman is this bride? A big woman?
No.
A burly woman?
She's the cat's pajamas.
Pajamas?
She's quite the looker.
Look there.
She's an attractive woman.
Ah, show me to this cat in pajamas. Aldolfo will make her purr.
Stop that.
Like a cat in pajamas.
Yep, Roman Bartelli, chewing the scenery. You certainly couldn't get away with a performance like that nowadays. Mature, contemporary audiences are too sophisticated to enjoy broad racial stereotypes. So we banished them to Disney. Let the children sort it out.
Yes, madam.
The pastry chefs have been kind enough to provide liquor for the party. But remember, underling, we have to be discreet.
Yes, madam.
It is prohibition after all.
I'm aware of that, madam.
Oh, we'll have to use code words. For instance, if someone asks for a glass of ice water, it means they want a glass of vodka. Have you got that?
Yes, madam.
Are you sure? Maybe you should write it down.
I understand, madam, a glass of ice water is a glass of vodka.
What's a glass of ice water?
Vodka.
Ice water?
Vodka.
Ice water?
Vodka!
Oh, you see? That's settled then. One less thing to do. Underling, may I please have a glass of ice water? I found the meeting with the pastry chefs rather trying, and I would love a glass of refreshing ice water.
A glass of ice water, madam.
Now it's pure vodka, you coot!
I hate this scene.
Oh, now I do need a glass of ice water.
A glass of ice water, madam?
Yes, ice water. Are you going deaf?
Would that I were.
You can see where this is going, can't you? It's really just a series of spit takes.
A glass of ice water, madam.
Now it's pure vodka, you poop!
You know, in some ways, the Drowsy Chaperone was quite progressive. A Hispanic actor playing the producer, for example, a strong female lead in the form of Janet Van de Graaff, for instance.
A glass of ice water, madam.
Now it's purified that you poop!
Yes, some things were progressive, but others were stale, even in 1928. I'm just going to skip through this. No.
Now it's... That!
Almost there. Oh, no. No.
Where do you think you're
To
going?
find some lime juice, madam.
Lime juice, for heaven's sake, why?
I'm going to wring out my eyebrows and make myself a gimlet.
Now, you're probably asking yourself, what was that routine doing in the show? It's very simple. There's a song coming up, and they needed time to allow for the set change. It's mechanics. It's like pornography. Let me explain what I meant by that. In pornography, the story is very simple. How do I pay for this pizza, being the classic example? Now, as a musical theater, the story exists only to connect the longer, more engaging, production numbers. Yes, production numbers. What? Well, what kind of society do we live in if I can't discuss the similarities between musical theater and pornography?
In a few hours, I'm going to be Mrs. Robert Martin. Oh, my head is spinning.
Yes, life is a mad whirlwind.
Oh, this is a really interesting scene. This is the only scene, in the entire show where Jane Roberts and Beatrice Stockwell are alone together on stage. Jane Roberts was an emerging star, yet Beatrice Stockwell was already well established and a force to contend with.
Oh, I'm so full of apprehension. But I suppose that's normal given the circumstances. Have you ever been married, Chaperone?
Oh, no. I drink for pleasure, not out of necessity.
Your ice water, madam, I'm afraid we're fresh out of olives.
Have you ever been married, underling?
Heavens no, madam. If I have to serve a woman, I prefer to be paid for my efforts.
Oh, Chaperone, is Robert in love with Janet Van Der Graaf the girl, or Janet Van Der Graaf the sensation? I know you think it's crazy for me to give up a successful career to marry a man I hardly know, but somehow, for some reason, when I look into his eyes, his big monkey eyes, oh, gee, I just get all woozy. And that's love, isn't it?
Not necessarily. The wooziness could be caused by many number of things. I mean, I'm woozy right now, but doesn't mean I'm in love.
Now, Beatrice Stockwell was famous for her rousing anthems. She entertained and inspired the troops in every major world conflict up to and including the Falklands War. But by that time, she was in her late 80s, and she didn't so much as rouse as stupefy. Still, she demanded that a rousing anthem be placed in every single show she ever did, even if it wasn't appropriate. And that's why I love her. You just can't say no to her. That is star power.
Really, you're not being the least bit helpful. Couldn't you at least allay my fears with a few choice words of inspiration?
Inspiration? Really, dear, that's not my forte.
Yes, but if you could...
As we stumble along on life's funny journey, as we stumble along into the blue, we look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where
quite nice, chaperone, but I really don't see how it pertains to my situation.
Let me explain. It's a dismal little world in which we live. It can bore you till you've nothing left to give. 7 overrated wonders, 7 underwhelming seas, 6 excruciating continents, Antarctica. Oh, please.
Antarctica, oh please.
Still, you mustn't let it leak you. This planet, oh so bland. Keep your eyeball on the highball in your hand. As we stumble along, cross life's crowded dance floor, as we push and we shove, we live and we learn. And when we finally leave the bar and we see that morning star, we pull our bootstraps up and homeward turn. Then we stumble back through dawn's blinding sunbeam. Then we know right from right, nor left from wrong. But as long as we can hear that little bluebird, there'll be a song as we stumble along, as we stumble, bumble, fumble, palumbo, as we stumble
Don't you just love her? Basically, she sings a rousing anthem about alcoholism. And that's why I love her. She does what she wants, regardless of the needs and desires of others. My mother was like that.
That was quite inspiring, chaperone. One might say rousing. But still, please just tell me, is Robert the man for me?
My dear, that is something you will have to decide for yourself.
But I just don't know if he loves me.
Why don't you ask him? Why don't you say, Roger, do you love me?
It's Robert, and I'm not allowed to see him. In fact, it's your job to keep me away from him.
You're right. And I take my responsibility very seriously. However, I'm just this moment feeling terribly, terribly drowsy. I'm afraid I have to have a lie down now. Whatever you do, don't go wandering through the garden seeking out your fiancé to ask him the question upon which your future happiness depends.
Oh, thank you, chaperone. I just have to know if he loves me.
Such a skinny little fool. Still I envy her. Oh, when will love come crashing through my door?
La 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 la!
Look who it is. It's Aldolfo come to seduce the bride.
I am Aldolfo.
Try not to think of the poodles when you're listening to this part.
I am Aldolfo. And you, bride. bridal suite, and you are the only one here. Therefore, you must be bride.
Interesting argument. I'm afraid you are a moron.
What?
Me, no bride. Perhaps I could take a message.
Yes, very good. Dear Van de Graaf bride, we must make love so I can transport you to a place of ecstasy. Sooner is better. Signed Aldalfo, King of Romance.
Well, you saw through my little ruse. You found me out.
Ah, so you are the bride.
Apparently, yes.
We must make love.
I can do worse. Take me, a doll face.
No, not Aldalfo. Aldalfo. You must remember my name for when we are making love. You are screaming. You must say the right name or it will spoil everything. How can I get you to remember my name? I'm sure that you have heard the name of Dalfo. A lady's man who wins a claim of Dalfo. Well, lovely miss, I am the same of Dalfo. I introduce myself. I am Dalfo.
Nice to meet you. Shall we?
Not so fast. So just in case you didn't hear of Dalfo, I try to make it very clear of Dalfo. The lovely ladies always cheer when I repeat myself. I am Aldalfo.
Understood.
I can sing it high. Aldalfo. I can sing it low. Aldalfo. I can sing it very fast. I can sing it very slow. I will do it now, but it will take hours. Now let me see if you can remember my name.
I'll give it a shot.
Now who's the battle that you see?
Aldalfo.
And how's the curate for Tumbi?
Aldalfo.
And who is it that always be?
Aldalfo.
Now sing it proudly.
You are a Aldalfo.
Now let me try that for you. For all you lovely ladies that didn't hear for some reason, because maybe you are out of hearing or something. I don't know. It goes
That was my mother's favorite number of the show. I think it was her secret fantasy to be carried off by a Latin lover. And I mean a real Latin lover, not a buffoon. But still, that's what musicals are all about, right? Romantic fantasy, falling in love with the drop of a hat, spontaneous tangoing. Suddenly finding yourself in an extremely romantic setting. Oh.
I'm an accident waiting to happen. Oh, don't worry, madam. It's my wedding day, so I have to wear a blindfold.
Blindfold?
I love this scene.
I'm sorry. Who am I speaking to anyhow?
Why, it's me. I mean, me.
Mimi, from France.
The scene couldn't be more ridiculous.
So, your name is Jeanne Van de Graaf, no?
Oui.
I hear she's very beautiful
Oui.
and glamorous.
Ah, oui, oui.
Is it true that she has an exceptionally broad range and excels at playing both comedic and dramatic roles?
Say, I'm having trouble placing your accent. What part of France did you say you're from again?
Oh, the middle part? Or the big toast? You were telling me about your, how do you say in English, fiancé?
That's right.
Well, tell me, when was the moment when you knew that she was the only one for you?
It's a funny story, actually. We were standing on the leader deck of the Ile-de-France.
Yes.
I was amusing her with stories of my father's oil interests.
And then what happened?
And then I looked into her eyes, her big, glamorous eyes, and I felt all woozy.
And then you fell? Oh, and then you fell?
Yes, right on my keister. And then I said, well, I guess I don't have my sea legs yet.
We haven't left the dock.
That's what she said. And that's when I knew it must be love.
And then you said?
And then I said, there was a time I could stop on a dime. Forbearance was one of my talents. But since you've been around, I can't hold my ground. I'm consistently losing my balance. I'm an accident waiting to happen. I'm a mishap about to ensue. I'm the toy on the stair, the three-legged chair, the hen that's been caught by a shoe. When my two lovesick arms started flapping, there was nothing my ankles could do. I'm an accident waiting to happen. So happy I happened to you.
And then what happened?
And she joined in.
When men say I'm sweet and they fall at my feet, my heart doesn't beat any faster. But when you lose control, it touches my soul. So I'm bracing myself for a disaster. You're an accident waiting to happen.
Uncanny.
A catastrophe destined to be.
Yes, I'm the rags in the cellar.
A broken umbrella, a branch hanging loose from a tree. I could see myself jumping and clapping, for a man is dangerously.
I'm an accident waiting to happen.
So hurry and happen to me. And then what happened?
And then we kissed. I'm an accident waiting to happen. So hurry and happen to me.
Wait a minute. You kissed a strange French girl on your wedding day.
Oh no! What have I done? Wait!
Well, it seems the blindfold and the fake French accent led to a terrible misunderstanding. Will it all work out in the end? Of course it will. It's a musical. It's not real. In musicals, everything works out. But in the real world, nothing ever works out. And the only people who burst into song are the hopelessly deranged.
surprise!
Mr. Felton, you don't need Janet no more.
Kitty, not now!
But I've been working on this mind-reading act. Presenting Kitty, the incomprehensible. Now think of something.
I'm thinking of something, all right.
Wait. You don't get it. Here goes some milk. And a loaf of rye bread. And don't forget to shave your legs.
You're reading your own mind, you idiot!
Oh, no wonder it was so easy.
Mr. Felton, it would seem that the wedding is proceeding according to schedule.
Now it is time you received your just desserts. What do you think, partner? Should we whip up something special for Mr. Felton?
Yeah, how about the Toledo surprise?
An inspired choice.
Oh, you're surprised? I never heard of that.
No, you haven't. Those who have heard of it are generally
Never hoid from again! We'll share the recipe with ya.
First, you chop the nuts.
Then you pound the dough.
Then you bake it up nice and slow. Then you got your
Toledo.
Toledo surprise.
Can you run that by me again?
It's a very simple recipe, Mr. Felton.
First, you chop the nuts.
Then you pound the dough. Then you bake it up nice and slow. Then you got your Toledo.
Toledo surprise. Say, why don't we give him a little taste?
All right.
Wait, hold it! What style, what grace, what rhythm? Open your fist. Now shake it. Now give me that recipe one more time. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Chop the nuts, pound the dough, bake it up nice and slow.
Now,
Then you got a Toledo. Toledo surprise.
now sell it.
Hit the peach, peel the skin, mush it up, throw it in. That's a tasty Toledo. Toledo surprise.
Now you cook
First
it.
you beat it up, then you sweet it up. When you heat it up, if it tries to rise, don't let it, it's a snap. Try it, folks, with your whites, split your yolks, then you got a Splendido. Toledo surprise.
You boys are naturals. My, keep it up. A 5, 6, 7, 8.
Mr. Felton? Ooh, what's going on here?
Developing a new act.
Toledo surprise.
See, but you gangsters in the show, you want me in it? They're not even in the union.
You got it. New act. It's for you, kitty. And these boys are your backup dancers.
Backup dancers? Holy cats!
Why can't hot Toledo just survive the beat out? Good, oh yes indeed, oh sugary yum yum. Surprise! Squeeze the cream, grease the pan, lick the spoon, whoop the gland, makes you blush your tuxedo. Toledo surprise!
And therefore he make an announcement. Wedding is up.
What? For the love of God, why?
And therefore has made love to the bride.
That is not the bride, you idiots. That is the chaperone.
What?
The wedding is on! The wedding is off! What? Bob kissed a French girl. Her name is Mimi. She's very beautiful.
I couldn't help it, Janet. She was just like you, only French.
Oh, sweet mother of pearl! Hi, dearly!
Yes, madam.
What is all the commotion about?
The wedding, madam.
Ooh, is there going to be a wedding?
Not anymore. Oh, what a tragedy. What a wonderful, wonderful tragedy. Clear the floor, boys. I'll show you how it's done. First you beat it up, then you sweet it up. When you heat it up, if it tries to rise, don't let it. surprise.
Surprise!
Wait until it's ready.
Surprise!
Wait until it's ready.
Surprise!
Wait until it's ready.
Now it's looking ready.
You got it! Makes me twitch, makes me shake. This dessert takes the cake. Hits me like a torpedo. Surprise! Torpedo surprise!
Hippie will go.
Wait a minute. Why are we dancing? Our dreams are in tatters.
Yes, yes, but the tune is so infectious.
Oh, Robert, this is the saddest day of my life.
At least it would be. We're actually in the Morosco Theater watching the Drowsy Chaperone. Which, of course, we are not. I don't like intermissions. They ruin the magic, you know? Are you kidding me? Thank you. As I was saying, I don't like intermissions. They ruin the magic, you know? They yank you back into reality. One moment you're in a world of music and glamour, and bam, you're surrounded by tourists. Crinkling candy wrappers and nattering on of the lack of women's restrooms is cruel. Oh, it's a power bar. I have a slight blood sugar issue. I have to eat small meals every day or else I get jittery. I remember my wedding day. It was, the ceremony wasn't until 4 in the afternoon, and I hadn't eaten breakfast that morning.
Oh, I do.
Are you surprised to hear that I was married? Well, there you are. You shouldn't go making assumptions about people now, should you? I'm a very complicated person. I have to pee now. I'll be back, I promise. But in the meantime, you can listen to the beginning of Act 2.
in the American radio. No, see, eye to eye.
But, Emperor, sometimes a different outlook may change your point of view.
What?
Precisely. What is it about the Asians that fascinate Caucasians? What is it about the Asians that's so nice? Is it the wontons, the egg rolls, the rice? Perhaps it's Buddha or Confucius and their excellent advice.
What is it about Caucasians that mystifies we Asians? What is it about Caucasians that's so odd? They call a plate ready a pod. They have hair upon their chest, and they only have one god. Impossible!
I am so sorry. That song was not from the Drowsy Chaperone. That was from another musical entirely. I have a woman who comes in and cleans for me once a month.
Can you say that? I have a woman? Anyway, she cleans the things I absolutely refuse to clean. She's quite good, although she has an annoying habit of cleaning my records and then putting them in the wrong sleeves. Even though I tell her, no touch records, Carmela, no touch records. I suppose if I spoke to her in complete sentences, she'd stop touching my records. Anyway, that song began Act 2 of another Evelyn show, The Enchanted Nightingale, a degrading piece of chinoiserie about an emperor who was told by a magic bird to marry his American elocutionist instead of his betrothed, and he ended up building the Great Wall of China. A slap in the face to 4,000 years of Chinese history. But it had some wonderful tunes. Did you recognize Beatrice Stockwell as the American lady? Yes. Wonderful. And, did you see Broman Bartelli as the emperor? Yes, he was a man of 1,000 accents. All of them insulting. Now, Act 2 of The Drowsy Chaperone begins with this. A haunting lament from a depressed bride. She stands on a balcony, bathed in the pale blue light of a sympathetic moon, which is ridiculous because it's the middle of the day. Now, when you're listening to this, try to ignore the lyrics. It'll be hard, but try. They're not the best, and the tune is beautiful, and it truly communicates the bride's state of mind. Just ignore the lyrics.
I put a monkey on a pedestal and tried to make that monkey stay. And he did for a time what he needed to climb, and with other monkeys play far away. He left his jacket on that pedestal beside his tiny rusty cups, and I haven't got the strength to pick them up. Oh, monkey, 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 you broke my heart in two. But I'll always sing that pedestal for you.
I'm just going to pour myself a brandy.
Come, my little monkey, come, my little monkey.
The melody is so simple, it just floats in the air. And I must admit, I do get a little bit misty thinking of that tiny jacket lying on that pedestal, its long sleeves dangling on the floor.
Oh, monkey, monkey.
pedestal.
Come, my little monkey, come, my little monkey.
Okay, here we go.
Wait,
Who are you?
I'm Janet Vanderbilt.
Do you need anyone?
I don't need anyone.
What about the love of one?
What do I care about the love of one man when I am adored by millions? Do I need to be so gloomy? No. I could rule the world if so I chose. Sigmund Freud's flowers to me every show. Gertrude Stein, she had a mirror.
Now she really lets go.
I'm Janet Vanderbilt. Ain't no nail that I can't hammer. Why give up on life of glamour? Life of glamour, life of glamour. No!
I love this part. He's having a complete mental breakdown.
I'm an accident waiting to happen. I don't want to show off no more. I don't want to spread mirth no more. Be the greatest star on earth no more. I don't wanna, I wanna, I don't wanna, I wanna, I don't, I do, I don't, I do. I don't wanna show and I think sure, Janet, future is secure, Janet, millions will do just fine. But any future I ever care to shape include just 1, 2 times in God who drives me. I asked monkey, just stop, monkey. Is it the monkey or my pedestal?
Wasn't that wonderful? It has a little bit of everything. A little Busby Berkeley, a little Jane Goodall. And that's another thing I love about musicals. When a character's in a crisis, they sing and they dance, which is so much more interesting than just whining about it. And that's another great thing about musicals in general. Oh, you see, this is what I'm talking about. This is life. You manage to be happy for 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden something starts ringing.
What a beautiful day for a wedding.
Shall I have the pews moved now, madam, or shall I wait until morning?
Okay, I'm going to stop here, because I don't want this number ruined by a ringing telephone. Here we have 2 vaudeville performers who have slipped through the cracks of time. They are Noel Fitzpatrick and Ukulele Lil. I know nothing about them. I suppose Ukulele Lil played the ukulele, although she doesn't in the show. I've tried to find out more about them. I've checked all my books. I've even tried the internet. But all my searches have ended with photographs of Tiny Tim's autopsy. Anyway, we're both charming.
Why would you have the pews removed?
The bride is called off the wedding, madam.
Oh, underling. Never listen to a bride on her wedding day. Why, on my wedding day, I was completely incoherent. Remember?
Yes, madam.
Love is a very complex emotion, underling.
Yes.
You can be very close to someone one minute, and then the next minute you just want to strangle them. Do you understand?
I'm familiar with the urge to strangle, yeah.
You see? That's just the nature of love. Love makes lovers worry, love makes lovers fret. But here's a fact on which we can depend. Just like long ago when Romeo loved Juliet, love is always lovely in the end.
But Romeo and Juliet was a tragedy, madam.
Oh, I never read reviews. Love can start a quarrel, love can cause a din, but love has always been a trusty friend. 'Twas a happy fate for Hank VIII and Anne Boleyn. Love is always lovely in the end.
I must remind you, madam, that Anne Boleyn lost her head.
Yes, she was in love. Love was good for Eve and Anna.
Here we go again.
And Samson and Delilah too.
Good grief. May I pose a question, madam?
Why, yes, of course.
Why does nothing I say to you ever get through?
Don't mind if I do. It's always lovely in the end.
Oh, I found that quite taxing, madam. Excuse me while I get a glass of ice water.
Love sneaks up behind you. Love drops from above. But love would never consciously offend. Love has certainly been kind to me and my true love. Love is always lovely in the end.
But your first husband was a brute.
I don't need him, you silly coot. Love
is always lovely, 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 lovely. Love is always lovely in the end. Love is always lovely in the end.
Yes, that was charming. But on some level, that number kind of pisses me off. I'm going to say something here, and yes, I have been drinking. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that love is not always lovely in the end. Often in the end, there are lawyers. And another thing, that number is naive, and irresponsibly so. I'm sorry, I just want to say that for the sake of the young people. Now, I won't interrupt anymore, but that wasn't just pointless editorializing. That actually speaks to another moment coming up that I've become quite frankly obsessed with.
There you are. Oh, chaperone, I'm in a terrible state.
You certainly are. You can't go to the wedding looking like that.
You poor dear, haven't you heard? The wedding's been called off.
Not your wedding, mine. Oh, that reminds me. Might I borrow your veil?
You're getting married? But to whom?
La 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 la! Beautiful lady with baffled expression.
You're marrying Aldolfo?
I know it seems crazy, but when I look into his eyes, his big, clumsy eyes, I get all drowsy. And that's love, isn't it?
Yes, that is love. Help me!
There you are!
married in the garden at 7:30 this evening.
What? What?
Oh, yes. Congratulations to everyone.
Say, what kind of cockamamie wedding is this? Everyone's getting married except for the bride and the groom.
Oh, Janet, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you.
Hello, Mr. Martin.
Oh, please don't be that way. Can't you find it in your heart to marry me? Now, George has gone through all this trouble, and I do love you. More than I can say.
I know, but you kissed another woman.
I know, and I just can't understand it. Now, listen, I know this may sound crazy, but when I was kissing that French girl by, it was just like kissing you.
Oh, Robert, you were kissing me.
You mean you're Mimi? Well, I have to say, that French accent was remarkably accurate.
Well, thank you. I developed it when I played the role of Monique in Hold That Baguette.
There you are. Now, before you do anything, think about this. No matter how well you play the role of happy wife, you will never, ever get a standing ovation.
Oh, I just don't know. Oh, I'm so confused. Chaperone, please, just this one time, give me some advice that is coherent and appropriate to the situation. Should I marry Robert?
All right, now here it comes. The moment I was talking about. Not only the culmination of the plot, one that has fascinated me more than any other, and may have brought me back to this record again and again. Here it is.
Well, my advice to you is...
And this is it. Listen.
Move while you can.
Oh. You see, you can't quite make out what she says because somebody drops a cane. I'll play it for you again.
Move while you can.
Oh. Is she saying live while you can or leave while you can?
Move while you can.
Oh. I mean, it is Beatrice Stockwell, and it might just be a cynical quip, but this is a wedding after all. And that's exactly what you're thinking when you're standing at the altar, isn't it? Live or leave. You have to live. Because you do love her in some way. It's not an exact science. An arrow doesn't come out of the sky and tell you who you're supposed to be with. So you say it. You say, I love you, and you basically phrase it as a question. But then she accepts it as fact, and then there she is in a $3,000 dress with tears in her eyes, and nephew made the hoopa. And then, what are you supposed to say? I was kidding, I was joking. No, you live, you choose to live, you have to live, right? So for the next couple of months, you stare at the alien form in bed next to you, and you think to yourself, who are you? Who are you? And then one day you say it out loud, and then it's a trial separation, a couple's counseling, and then you're talking about her eating disorder and your Zoloft addiction. And then you keep redefining, reevaluating, revisiting until finally you lose the deposit on the house and the whole relationship ends on a particularly ugly note with your only copy of Gypsy spinning through the air, crashing into the living room wall. But in the larger sense, in a broader sense, it's better to have lived than left, right?
While you can.
Oh! You have no idea how many times I've listened to that.
Oh, Chaperone, you certainly have a way with words. Robert, my answer is yes.
Oh.
I will marry you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Well, Mr. Felzig, it looks like this wedding is a done deal.
Now you're in trouble.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
But there is! I found a replacement! A new leading lady! Presenting Kitty the Incredible! Okay, Kitty, now concentrate and show the boys that you can read my mind. My mind.
Oh! Kitty, will you marry me? Holy cats, Mr. Felzig! Yes, 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 yes!
Isn't she amazing?
Well, what are you waiting for? You ladies just go put on your frillies and we'll all get married in one big club. That's how they do it in Utah.
Well, George, I have to say, 4 weddings in one day. I don't know how you managed to pull it off. I guess you're everybody's best man now.
Yeah!
I am?
Of course.
I am.
Hip, hip,
Hooray! He's George, that's George, the best man, George.
I'm honored to be doing what a best man ought.
He's basking in the glory of a fight well fought. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime, wedding bells will celebrate a happy wedding time. Wedding bells will celebrate a happy
Minister, you may begin. Oh no, I forgot the minister. Who the hell are you?
I'm Trix, the aviatrix, queen of the sky. To Rio, I was landing when my engine needed bending. I'll fix my navigatrix, and then I'll fly and let you advertise the night. So sorry to crash the party, folks. I'll have this fixed in 2 days. Then it's off to Rio for Carnival.
Wait, the captain of a ship can perform a marriage?
Yes! And a pilot is comparable to a captain.
Yes!
An airplane is a kind of sheep.
Huh?
Some call it a sheep of the air.
Huh?
An air sheep.
Oh, shit! Yes!
Wait! I've got it. Tricks, you can marry them on the plane, and then we'll all have the honeymoon in Rio.
A bride and groom in a chapel may bring a tear to the eye. But what a thrill when lovers drill I do in the sky. When bound to set in a big daffodil sky. And when sweetheart dies, I do in the sky. Do you? We do. Do you?
We do.
Do you?
We
Do you?
We do. A bride and groom in a chapel may bring us here to the eye.
With rainbows bending before us and clouds meandering by, one can restrain that sweet refrain. I do in the sky. And now we're setting on that but heart may thrust and sweetheart done. I do in the sky. I do in the sky.
Look, up ahead. Do you see it?
Me? Yes, it's real! Well, hurry up, Trix. We've got some honeymooning to do. Then fly, then one can restrain that sweet refrain. I do.
Oh, I can't believe it. Okay, everybody stay calm. This happens occasionally. It's a horrible department with terrible wiring. Just keep the show alive in mind. Concentrate. Don't talk to anyone. Don't let yourselves get distracted. I'll find the fuse box.
Everybody be quiet.
It's the super.
Oh, God.
Hi.
Hello.
Your lights are out.
Yes.
Yeah, we had to shut the power off because we're placing the breaker panel in the basement.
Yes.
So we replaced it. But when we turned the power off, the breakers in all apartments tripped.
Yes.
That's what happens. It's normal.
Yes.
So I got to reset breakers.
Now.
That'll take a second.
All right. All right. All right.
Because I tried calling you earlier before, but there's no answer.
Oh, I've been having some trouble with the phone.
Here we go. What was that?
It was a record.
What kind of music was that?
Oh, it was just music. It was a show. It was a musical, actually.
You? Like musicals?
No.
I love musicals!
Oh.
Yeah! I go with my wife all the time.
Oh.
Hey, it's amazing what they can do nowadays. Did you see Spider-Man?
Oh.
He flew all around the theater in that one! Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen them all. I've seen Cats,
Oh.
Les Mis, Rocky the Musical. I like the movie better.
Really? Bye. Well, that's it. That's it. Mood is broken. One note away from the end of the show, and the mood is just broken. I should start the record again from the beginning. No, I can't do that now, can I? You don't understand. I love this show so much. My mother gave me this record. It was just before my father left us. Oh, he didn't leave because of the record, although I'm sure that didn't help matters. I know it's not a perfect show. The spit take scene is lame, and the monkey motif is labored, but that doesn't matter. It does what a show is supposed to do. It takes you to another world. It gives you a little something to carry within your head. A little something to help you cope with the horrors of the real world. A little something for when you're feeling blue. No? As we stumble along on life's funny journey, as we stumble along into the blue, we look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what to do.
I am sitting waiting to happen.
Away
I don't wanna sing too
through life's crazy land.
Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime.
To meet a surprise, left from right, nor right wrong.
And the best that we can do is hope and pray.
We'll sing his song as we stumble along. Still we mumble our way through life's crazy land.
madam.
How do I look?
You look radiant, Mrs. Tottenham.
I do love this dress so. It never goes out of style.
It's a miracle, madam.
Ooh, when will the guests be arriving?
You'll be arriving shortly, madam.
Oh, I should go put on my fancy dress.
You're wearing it, madam.
Oh. My dress, my fancy dress. I don't know why I'm wearing it, I must confess. My dress, I love my dress. Would someone tell me why I put it on?
Yes, yes, your dress, fancy dress. Such a pleasure airing it, restitching and repairing. God bless your dress, it's one fine dress, and I will tell you why you put it on. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime. When you're those descendants, happy wedding time. Wedding bells will ding, wedding bells will dong. Wedding bells will ding-a-ling, and we will ding along. Wedding guests have come.
Wedding guests are here.
Wedding guests